Good morning, friends. Let us continue where we left yesterday. So, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday, we understood congruency of triangles and then we moved on to similarity of triangles. So, when can you say two triangles are similar? Two triangles are similar if their corresponding angles are equal, yes, and their corresponding sides are in the same ratio or proportion. And I hope you did the activity as I instructed yesterday. So if you have done the activity by yourself and found out the measurements and seen the ratio, then you must have seen that the ratio of the corresponding sides of the equilateral triangle remain equal. Now we move on to the next theorem, and it is a very important theorem in similarity. So we are going to prove a theorem now, and follow me from the start. This is a very important theorem of similarity. So I have written the theorem on the board. Is it clear to you? The theorem 6.1 states, if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides at distinct point, to other two sides are divided in the same ratio. So in this theorem, what is given to us? First you write down what is given to us. Let us say triangle ABC. Okay? What is given to us? Triangle ABC is given to us, and we will write DE is parallel to BC. Okay? So I will draw it here to show you. We are given a triangle ABC. Okay? Given triangle ABC. So what is the theorem again? If a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle, so what we have taken the one side, we have taken the side as BC, and we draw a line parallel to BC. So if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle, so let me draw the line. The line, I call it DE, the points DE. So I have drawn a line DE parallel to BC, because the theorem says if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle. So what is given to us? Are you following? If a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides at distinct points, at two separate points, not at A. A is only one point. Other than A, anywhere it can intersect at two distinct points, the D. The other two sides are divided in the same ratio. So, what is given? We are given a triangle ABC, a line DE. A line DE I have drawn parallel to BC. Yes? So, D is parallel to BC. What we have to prove? What we have to prove? We have to prove the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. These two sides are divided by this point in the same ratio, means we have to prove AD upon DB, the ratio of this side and this side, AD and DB is equal to the ratio of AE and EC. AE and EC. So this is what we have to prove. So understand the theorem, understand what is given to us, understand what we have to prove, and then we'll move on to the proof. So if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides at distinct points, the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. So what I do, it was given a triangle ABC. I have taken my triangle ABC. You can write X, Y, Z, PQ or whatever you want. You have to draw one line parallel to one given side. So because I have drawn the line D parallel to BC, which are the other two sides AB and AC? So this line will divide these two sides. This line DE will divide these two sides in the same ratio. That is what we have to prove. Now I will have to rub the board to give the proof. So I will draw the diagram on one side. Yes, and we'll move on to the proof. I have made some space on the board So we can start with the proof. So we have to start with the proof. So what will we start here first? There is something you need to do. What you need to do, you draw DN is perpendicular to AC. I should write here. Draw DN perpendicular to AC and EN perpendicular to AP. So you have to draw this. What you have to draw? DN should be perpendicular. So perpendicular means making a right angle. So I have drawn DN is perpendicular to AC. DN is perpendicular to AC and EN is perpendicular to AB. Yes, that is the first step you have to do. You have to draw the perpendiculars. Done? Okay. Now we move further. What is the triangle of area? Area of triangle ADE. So look here. Area of triangle ADE. What is ADE? Is this triangle on the top. Now, area of triangle ADE is half base into altitude. So half. Now this triangle has got, if I take AD as the base, then EN is the altitude. So I write half into AD into EN. Right? But if I take AE as the base, then DM is the altitude. So half into AE into EN. I can write the area of this triangle ADE in two different ways, depending what I take my base and what I take the altitude. Okay? So that depends what I want to take, I can take. Half base into altitude. Now, what is the area of triangle BDE? Area of triangle BDE. Now BDE is this triangle. This triangle. Okay? So it is half into base. So base I am taking BD. BD. What is the altitude of BD? So you have to see that. Let me explain. Sometimes you have a triangle like this, obtuse angle triangle. That is going to be X, Y, Z. It's an obtuse angle triangle. When I take YZ as the base, what is the altitude? So the altitude means perpendicular. So here I write XO. Now sometimes the perpendicular can be outside the triangle. So here also the same thing has happened. BDE is the triangle, but you see the line, the perpendicular line is outside. So BD is the base, but EN is the perpendicular. So I have made a mistake here, it should be AD into DN. Sorry. Here it is half. Sorry, no. This is right. It is AD into EN, but this should be AE into DN. Here it should be AD into DN. Okay? So here it is lying outside. I hope it is clear to you. So area, how do we write area? You can write short AR also. So BD is half BD into EN. Okay? Now let us take the ratio of these two. One more, we have to move. This time I will write in the short form area of triangle. Area of which triangle? Now I will do DEC. DEC. So area of triangle DEC. So this is also one short form. You can write the full form area of triangle ADE, area of triangle BD, or a short form area of DEC. What is area of DEC? Half into base. Base is EC into altitude. Altitude is DN. So here I have taken 4 different triangles and found out their formula. Okay? I hope I am clear till here. The first 4 steps. Again, triangle ADE can be written in 2 ways. If AD is the base, EN is the altitude. If AE is the base, DM is the altitude. Triangle, area of triangle BDE, BD is the base, En is the altitude, and area of triangle DEC, EC is the base and EM is the altitude. So we have found out the areas. Now what will we do next? We will take the ratio of two separate things, okay, separately. So we will find ratio of area of triangle ADE and area of BDE. This you have to take, and separately find out the area again ADE, the ratio of ADE this time with DEC. So how do you find the ratio? You write the formula. What was ADE? Half into AD into EN upon what is BDE? BD is half into BD into EN. Yes? Half and half get cut. EN and EN get cut. So what is left? AD upon BD. So area of triangle ADE to BDE is AD upon BD. Similarly, here you do again AD, this time I take this one, half into AE into DN. Okay, I take this one ADE, and DEC is half into EC into DN. Here half and half get cut, DM and DN get cut, so we are left with AE upon EC. Let us call this result 1, let us call this result 2. Okay, so we have got two results, result 1 and result 2. Now, something you learned in the 9th standard. What did you learn in the 9th standard? Now we have to recall a little bit, we have to write further. Recall. What you learned in the 9th standard, you learned that triangles lying between the same, triangles having the same base and lying between the same parallels are equal in area. This you did in the 9th standard. You learned the theorem for areas. Triangles having the same base and lying between the same parallels are equal in area. So now again, which triangle I will see? This time I will not use this. See this. I will try to use a different color pen if I have got one here. Look at triangle. Yes? Which one are you going to see? Okay. Look at triangle BDC and triangle BEC. Sorry, this is not the one we need to see. This is not the base we are going to take. We will take the one we already used. Hold on. You will know in some time. Yes? We will take the triangles we use here. Which triangles we use here? BDE. So BDE is one triangle we take, BDE, and the other triangle we take is DEC. So write again. Which triangles they have taken? Triangle BDE. So given here the same way. Area of BDE equal to area of DEC. Meaning to say the area of this triangle and this triangle are equal. But why are they equal? See here, we have got this, again I will draw BDE and BEC. These two triangles I am saying are equal. Why are they equal? Because they have got the same base DE. DE is the base common to both, and they lie between parallel lines. So this you did in the 9th standard. Triangles having the same base and lying between the same parallels are equal in area. Mention here. Triangles having same base and lying between same parallels are equal in area. So these two areas are equal. Now, if these two areas are equal, these two areas should also be equal, because see, ADE and AD is same and this angle is also same. So I am continuing here. So what will you get? Because of this result, area of ADE upon area of BDE equal to area of ADE upon area of DEC ratio. But what was this ratio? This ratio was AD upon BD. AD upon BD. And what was this ratio? AE upon EC. And that is what we were supposed to prove. Okay, this is DB, but this BD is the same thing. So AD upon BD equal to AE upon EC. This was what was to be proved, and we have now proved it. So one more time I will still repeat the theorem. What is the theorem again? Now the proof is done, but we'll see the theorem again. In a triangle, if a line is drawn parallel to one side, now you can take any side, so now I try a second one. I can even draw a line. This line is parallel to AB, or I can draw a line like this. This line is parallel to AC. This line is parallel to AC. This line is parallel to BD. So I can draw any line the way I want. But the theorem, if a line is in a triangle, if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle that intersects the other two sides in two distinct points, then the line divides the two sides in equal ratios. So, what does it mean? You can understand. If D is the line drawn parallel to BC, which intersects AB and AC and B in E, then AD upon BD equal to AE upon EC. Okay? Now I'll write the other one also, just for your understanding. This time I will draw my line parallel to AB. So I am drawing my line parallel to AB. Let me call the point X and Y. So here, line XY is parallel to AB, cutting the other two sides in two distinct points. And what we get? The ratio of the other two sides. So CX upon AX. CX upon AX. See the order. CX upon AX equal to CY upon DY. CY upon DY. Okay? I will write the third case also. This time I want to draw my line parallel to AC. And I call it M, so not MN, let me call it say FG. So this time I draw my line parallel to AC. And what do you get? It is drawn parallel, so it cuts the remaining two sides in the same ratio. So I get BF upon AF, the short one, equal to BG upon CG. So I have written this theorem in all the three forms now. Whichever parallel side you take, and the other ratios are, other sides are divided in the same ratios. This is the theorem. Okay? In the book there is now one example on page number 126. There is an example 1 on page number 126. It is the extended form of this theorem. The same data is given to you. I will not write it again. The same data is mentioned. What is the data? A line DE parallel to BC intersects AB and AC in the points DE and EE. DE and B and E. Okay? You have to prove this time that AD upon AB equal to AE upon AC. Understand the difference here. Last time we proved AD upon BD. So we took this first part, AD upon BD equal to AE upon EC. We took in parts. But this time they want a separate proof. They want AD part of the whole upon AD upon AB. Last time they both were parts. We had AD upon BD equal to AE upon EC. This time we have to prove AD upon AB equal to AE upon AC. Okay? So we get this proof from the theorem only. So when this condition is given, what does the theorem say? The theorem says, if this is the condition, then AD upon BD equal to AE upon EC. Yes, theorem 6.1. So theorem 6.1 tells us that this is already proved. Now what are we going to do? We'll revert this. It is called invertendo. Invertendo, componendo, dividendo is very important in ratios. We have not done that, but I will take a separate lecture to explain you each and everything. In the meantime, you just understand what we are doing. So to invertendo means you invert both the sides. I'll give you a small example. Suppose we have got 2 upon 3 equal to 4 upon 6. Are these ratios same? Yes. Because 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6, so the same ratio. So when I invert it, then 3 upon 2 equal to 6 upon 4. Nothing changes. It's called inverted. If I add 1 on both sides, then should not change. So LCM is 3 plus 2 ones are 2. So 5 upon 2, and here I get 4 ones are 4. 6 plus 4, 10. 10 upon 4. So 5 upon 2 is also 10 upon 4. So this is invertendo, componendo it is called. Okay? What is the componendo here? This is 3 add 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5 upon 2. Gives 6 plus 4, 10 upon 4. But the value does not change. So we have to use the same thing here. So using invertendo reverted. So we get BD upon AD equal to AE. So not AE. EC upon AE. Then like I did, I add 1 on both sides. So BD upon AD plus 1 equal to EC upon AE plus 1. Taking the LCM, BD plus adding the AD in LCM, AD upon AD equal to EC plus AE upon AE. Right? Now what do you get? See, BD plus AD. BD plus AD is AB. So we get AB upon AD, and EC plus AE. EC plus AE is AC equal to AC upon AE. Now invert them again, invertendo. So AD upon AB equal to AE upon AC, and hence it is proved. So this was the extended part. Now one last thing we'll do, we'll write all the possible ratios. So you can remember everything in short. So now the conditions again. Okay? Line DE is drawn parallel to BC, which intersects the other two sides at two distinct points. Then the ratios. Now let us see how I write the ratios. I'll show you all the three ways. Part upon part. See, AD is a part and BD is a part. So part upon part, AD upon BD is equal to part upon part. See which part you have taken. The top part upon the bottom part is top part upon bottom part. So it's AE upon EC. This is one way to write it. Now top part upon the whole. So AD upon AB. Top part upon the whole is top part upon the whole. So it's AE upon AC. These two we have done. This we proved by theorem. This is the example. And now the third way to write, bottom part upon the whole. So BD upon AB. Bottom part upon the whole equal to bottom part upon the whole is EC upon AC. So whenever a line is given parallel to one side which intersects the other two sides in two distinct points, then they cut them in the same ratio. But how does the ratio remain? Top part upon bottom part top part upon bottom part of one side equal to top part upon bottom side of another side. Okay, another side, yes. Top part upon whole part of one side is top part upon whole side of the another side, and bottom part upon the whole part equal to bottom part upon the whole part. So this is the theorem, a very important theorem. I have gone very slow. I want you to understand this theorem in complete detail. Okay? If you are now thorough with this example, so the theorem and the example, then you will be able to solve all the sums very easily. Now let us see what is the example 2 in the book. In example 2, they have given us a trapezium. What is the trapezium? It's a quadrilateral with two sides parallel. Okay, it's a quadrilateral with two parallel sides. So quadrilateral in which one pair of opposite sides is parallel is called a trapezium. The trapezium is A, B, C and D. So this is the trapezium given to us. Okay? And there are 2 points on the non-parallel sides. Which are the non-parallel sides? AD and BC are the non-parallel sides. So there are 2 points on the non-parallel sides such that EF is parallel to AB. Now we know if EF is parallel to AB, EF is also parallel to CD. Okay, this is given to us. What we have to prove? What we have to prove is AD upon ED, part upon part, equal to BF upon FC. This is what we have to prove. So this is what you are supposed to prove. So how will we prove it from the theorem we just did? How will we find the proof to it? So you have to do one construction. What is the construction you do? Join AC and let it intersect EF at G. So what did I do here? Join AC such that it intersects EF and call the point G. Now look separately. Look at triangle ABC. Yes? Look at triangle ABC. Now EF is parallel to CD. Therefore, EG is also parallel to CD because EG is equal to EF. I hope you understood this. Yes, so EG is parallel to CD. Now, if this line is parallel to one side of the triangle, it divides the other two sides in the same ratio. Then from theorem 6.1 we have AE upon ED equal to AG upon GC. Check it out. AE upon ED is AG upon GC. Now look at triangle ABC. In ABC you can see GF is parallel to AB. GF is parallel to AB. Why? Because EF is parallel to AB. Because it's 3 dots reverse. Yes? So EF is parallel to AB, so GF is parallel to AB. So now if this and this one is parallel, then we have AG upon GC equal to BF upon FC. This is our result number 2. So we have AE upon ED is AG upon GC, but AG upon GC is BF upon FC. So by result 1 and 2 we have AE upon ED equal to BF upon FC, and hence we have proved this example. Yes? So when a triangle is not given, you can draw a line to make it a triangle, and once you make it a triangle, you can make use of the theorem and prove the sum. Is it clear? So now I'll finish it here today, and I will leave you something for homework. Yes, I will send you a screenshot of the sums you are supposed to do for your homework. that I will send later on. Okay.